Being a painter is a very lonely profession because you are in front of your canvas, you are painting in your studio, maybe with your music. Imagine that painters have like a tattoo shop or a painting shop, everybody painting, hanging out. That doesn't exist.
Yeah. YouTube is like
My God.
beginner's guide to tattoo, first top 10 steps. Dip your needle in this. Bro, they have everything now. Everything. Back in the day, they had nothing. So back in the day, you had to learn everything, like Stefano said, on your own.
For more than 30 years. So I seen people who is doing the same as 20 years ago.
You guys want to see the fucking old school tattoo? Imagínate que tener una persona al lado que en verdad lo apoya a uno también y que quiere salir con madre. I never had to build mine, I never had to fucking build my own needles and shit. I feel like you went through that old school process. Esa parte es viendo yo, pero estoy solo, marica.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Select Tattoo Live. We are here with Jose Pulido.
Hey, I'm here once again.
Terrence in the mix. Yeah! And we have our special guest, Stefano Alcántara, as many of y'all know, as one of the pillars of the tattoo industry. Stefano, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Thank you for saying yes, because, we try to bring cool people here.
Absolutely.
And every once in a while, those people is like, I don't know,
Yeah.
And I asked him, and right away, he was like, I'm in. And I was like, hell yeah.
Of
Absolutely.
Thank you.
course. No. For me, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, and also to be asked to.
Definitely.
If people want to hear what I have to say or something,
Yeah. Yeah, no, and this is fun. This is the funnest. This is the highlight of our week.
Absolutely.
Because we love doing this. We love talking. And now after many times doing it in front of the camera, now we love doing it in front of the camera again.
Yep.
We're actually, today is the day before this badass convention.
Yes, sir.
So we can talk about that a little bit later. But let's start with a little bit of Stefano's background, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, please. So for the viewers that don't know, right, we have a lot of up-and-coming artists who are joining us in the podcast, and of course, some of the veterans as well. Stefano, please tell us, we know you've contributed to the pillars of tattoo industry, not only for your technique, for your style, of course, for the products that you brought into it, but as far as tattooing goes, man, what has it done for you as coming up, man? I know it's a huge thing,
For sure. No, for me, tattoos, and all whatever I have in life is because tattoos.
Right.
I'm a graphic designer as a career.
Me too.
Yeah, that's true. Did you guys go to school for this, or is this something that you guys just studied for a little bit?
No. I finished my career. That was
Phenomenal.
That's my career when I was in Peru.
Right.
And tattoos were my hobby at the moment. I was tattooing while I was on the weekends, while I was not studying and doing my whole career. And later on, when I finished, I studied another little masters and stuff, whatever. But I remember I was doing aprendiz, como how you say that,
internship.
Okay.
In this graphic design company.
Oh, doing business cards and
Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's like, I've been there before, yeah.
In a computer, doing some bank design, very perfect, and it was for a month. And after that, if they like my work, they will hire me or not. I was excited. I was like 21 years old or something. And they told me, you know what? We like your work. We want to stay, but we want you to stay as an intern for another month. But they told me they will hire me. Right after 1 month, they try me and they hire me. And I'm a person that I believe in, and I take very serious the word of the people.
Right.
If you tell me you want to do something, I'm expecting you to do that.
Right.
And if you don't follow with that, you don't have a word. I don't care about a contract. I don't care about that. That's your word.
Yes.
When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I would die before I
Don't do it. Yeah.
I'll go back on your word, right.
So I was prepared for that. And they said like, okay, so you're not going to hire me then.
He said, fuck that.
So, well, I was expecting, if you don't hire me, I'm going to open my tattoo shop.
Right.
And the guy was like, tattoos. People get tattoos.
Back in the day, absolutely.
I'm telling you that.
Yeah, we're talking when?
What year? Wow. It's 90. I finished school 93, maybe around 96, 97.
Yeah, at that point, tattoos weren't you weren't used to it. You weren't seeing that everywhere.
And we're talking Peru.
Yes,
Peru.
exactly.
Yeah, because-
that's another big one.
Yeah.
Make sure you understand, people. In Peru, not only the United States is different, right? But Peru, like, what's that like?
It was not tattoo shops.
Right.
It was not tattoo supply companies. It was not nothing. It was no magazine in the kiosks. It was nothing. I have to look for magazines in flea markets to check what was going on, and it's nothing there where I can learn from anybody. So I didn't have an apprenticeship. I'm a self-taught artist. Tattoo. It took me so long, try and error, terrible at the beginning. A couple times I was like, I don't think this is for me, man.
Yeah.
They were healing very bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know how to do it. I just was looking at magazines and trying to
Replicate what was in there, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But anyways, I love, because after a few months I start to feel more comfortable. I was learning from trying. You know?
Right.
And that's where I am now.
Brandon, can you imagine? Because I'm not. I start a few years ago, but
Right.
I had access to internet, and I had a mentor, right? So it was a lot easier for me. And you also, you have your mentorship, your apprenticeship, but you also have even more like YouTube and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because even for me in Spanish, it was not a lot of content back then. So for you in English, I'm pretty sure that you had a lot more access to stuff. And now imagine
you have everything.
not having, just
Nothing.
don't have nothing.
Exactly.
No, nothing.
Right now you have everything. Back then you had nothing, like you said.
Nothing.
So
To get my first tattoo kit was from a tattoo magazine. The name Tattoo. Tattoo magazine.
Okay, that was the name of
That
the
name,
of the
Tattoo.
magazine.
Tattoo. that I heard that it might come back. But anyway. And it was a little ad in a light blue color background, and they have 2 tattoo machines, 10 needles, a little set of ink, everything you need to start. a tattoo.
You're right.
But no autoclave, no nothing to continue doing it.
Right.
But it came with a little catalog. So I was like, oh my God, so I have to continue buying this and that, or, and that's how I learned. They came with a book called A to Z of Tattooing. And I didn't know any English. So
crazy.
just for the little drawings who were there, I was looking how he was putting the paper and then how you have to move with little drawings. I didn't see it in person. I did nothing.
Right.
So it was really
Wait,
a
so-
little frustrating to
So
be
they
honest.
have the drawing and they just show you
Images.
like an arrow or something and like follow
Yes.
or
No, yeah, there were like 3 drawings, for example, and there was a hand like this running a machine and arrows in circle. How you
telling you that you have to move the okay.
In this motion, right?
In this motion,
Opposed to
exactly.
now in this generation, right? For me, whenever I was learning how to tattoo, I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I love art. I love doing it. I want to do something with it. So I started tattooing. I started getting on YouTube. YouTube is so easy. YouTube is like
my God.
beginner's guide to tattoo. First top 10 steps. Do this, do that, rotate. Dip your needle in this. Bro, they have everything now.
Everything.
Back in the day, they had nothing. So back in the day, you had to learn everything, like Stefano said, on your own. So it's like, imagine now and then, bro, it's just night and day. Night and day.
Like for me, it was a catastrophe when I was running out of inks.
Oof.
It was no place to buy. So I have to travel to the US.
Oh my God.
Visit my cousins or whatever, have family.
Okay.
Buy my supplies and come back.
Yeah.
So on top of that, it was nobody was paying good money for tattoos in Peru, especially for my beginner. It was not an industry. Nobody wanted tattoos. Not nobody, but I mean,
Right.
very small amount of people. So on top of us charging very cheap, I was spending even flights and everything. It's not Amazon. It's
Right.
not tattoo supply who comes here to your door and you pick whatever.
Exactly. You're investing more into it than
my
it was for you to get out
Oh my
of
God.
it.
I was charging like $15-20, man.
Yeah.
Per
crazy.
Man, you really have to love something to do it.
100%.
Like that.
That's awesome.
Man, but I'm so happy, to I
Man.
never imagined in my life.
Tattooing saves
Yes.
lives.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it sounds cheesy, but that tattooing brings a lot of good things too.
It's very true, and like you said,
Many.
going through all that he did, just to try to go ahead and get the not only the technique, the skills, and the experience, right, but the supplies and everything. You could have ended up a different road if it wasn't for this. You know what I mean? You could have ended up who knows where, but the fact that tattoo pulled you in and allowed you to go ahead and, gravitate to that. Man, that like you said, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. Tattoo saves life. Tattoos.
100%. I don't think, for many people, okay, it's a cheesy word like save lives.
Right.
I don't think I was in a bad route in life, but I think he gave me things I would never thought I can reach.
Right.
As a man, as a person.
As a graphic designer.
As a graphic designer. I'm so boring. I will kill myself.
Man, I did graphic design for a while, and I love it. I love graphic design, but tattooing is just so much cooler.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's just so
you know
much
what
cooler.
what a graphic design gave me? Something very valuable, I think, about graphic.
Yeah.
It's like you're working for a customer who is expecting a successful image from you. Same as tattooing.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Fine art. If you do painting, I'm gonna study painting in the Academy of Art or whatever, you do what
you want.
brain and what you desire that day. And if people like it, buy
Right.
it. If not, no.
No worries.
Tattoo is not like that.
Yeah,
sir.
it's a service still.
It's a service. We are illustrators.
Yep.
We are not like, fine artists that you. But okay.
We can do that sometimes.
This is no for sure.
That's
for sure.
so
we
cool
do.
that we can do it sometimes.
We do.
But we just don't have to.
That's the liberty.
Forget.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That our bread and butter is our customer who wants something from you, expecting something from you with his idea, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love to do things that I would never thought I would. Like you have an assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. How you do the best way to do that assignment? Let me do it for you, brother.
Yeah.
And
Whatever fits you in that mood in
my-
that day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's like a me as a kid. Okay, we're gonna draw today a horse.
Yeah.
Let's draw a horse.
Let's
so cool.
Yeah.
How would you like this horse? You want it black and gray? You want it colorful? You want it realism? You want it animated? Whatever I'm feeling that day and whatever the client wants me to,
sure.
And I love that. I think that what we have is, to me, it's the best job in the world. Like, as cheesy as it sounds to you viewers and stuff like that, but it is, to me, it's the best job in the world because I used to work the 9 to 5. I graduated to marketing and business and stuff like that. And I tried to do the graphic design, sitting behind a computer doing coding and, all that stuff. It was boring, man. It was boring.
Oh my God.
I loved talking to people, interacting with people, getting to know people. So whenever I started, getting into the tattoo business, right? Meeting different types of people every single day was something so refreshing. Somebody's idea was so new, so different every day. What style would you like it? What design? It's something so different. To me, my thing is like, I tell my clients, give me your idea, give me your thought, let me run with it. Don't give me guidelines, but give me an idea, give me direction. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I think that's the best way when it comes to tattooing. Get that freedom, get that creative juices going,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. So I think we have a phenomenal job, and it is hard because it's permanent. You can, there's no such thing as a mistake along, the lines, but it's something so fun that it's such a storytelling thing. It's a bookmark on your body that you can look back to, and you're like, at this point in my life, I was doing this, I was going through this, I was feeling this, So I think it's such an awesome job, man.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think we have a job where we can do this anywhere in the world.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely. You have
it's
traveled
freedom.
quite a bit.
A little bit.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I would
my
love to hear
God.
that.
What's the coolest convention that you have ever gone?
Coolest
to?
convention. Well, it's a few cool conventions. You
Top
can,
3. Give me top 3.
Top 3
Yes,
top
sir.
conventions. The London convention that doesn't exist anymore. The venue was so magical. The venue was amazing. It was nothing compared any convention to London convention, I believe.
Wow.
And what year was this?
It finished. Is right now London Convention is Gods of Ink in Frankfurt.
Oh, okay.
okay.
So they start doing it.
So the quality of the artists and the elite is the same, but the venue of London Convention was
Different.
oh my god. I wish they made a documentary of that or something, because I think it was a magical place to be 100%. Paris as well. That is going to be the last convention of Paris next year too. So the last edition is going to be next year. So it's an important convention to go. But from small conventions, I love Venice to, I don't know, it's so many beautiful places. That one, Randy do a small convention in little town in Germany, in a beautiful, ornate venue, for example. I love those kind of things, a little bit, no? But my favorites are the ones who are loaded with artists.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Because it put me in a different energy of trying to do my best at the moment. I think it's something very, and also talk with you learn just from hanging out with people. How they live, what they do, and even in the lifestyle of every artist. I think it's so important.
Yeah, no, and it's gotta be
artist.
different, that you can compare what it is, tattoo industry conventions nowadays with all the social media distraction thing, compared to back in the days. Because I imagine that you only see that artist from the other side of the world once a year at this convention. Now we just see each other all the time on Instagram.
Yep.
It's true. But you know what I like about conventions like that? Go to places that are cool. More than the convention, I love the convention. I love my clients. I love hanging out with my friends there. Sometimes it's been times where I don't walk the convention. Just walk to my booth, tattoo all day until maybe the last one leaving, and then I'm so hungry, looking for food, and go back to my hotel, and the next day over and over.
Right.
So the convention itself sometimes is not the highlight. Maybe the highlight can be the day before the convention.
Yeah.
Like right now, for example, I'm in Dallas. This is a highlight for me too, as well, because a convention is gonna be in a room and we wanna do what we love, great art or whatever. But this is a unique experience. That we not have it on anywhere in the world, because I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Maybe on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, if you stay, I don't know, China, Japan, or Australia. I'm gonna be next month in Australia and New Zealand. I've never been.
That's awesome.
I'm going back to back weekend conventions there. I don't know what to expect. That's gonna be the best thing for the convention.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Man, I love that about tattooing. You hit a good point earlier in the conversation where you said, what we do, it allows us to do this any part of the world.
anywhere in the world.
I can literally get a suitcase about this yard, put my machine, my black ink or whatever, you know what I mean? A couple needles, some gloves, and go and travel the world. I can do guest spots in, say, Japan, Europe, wherever. And I can do this. And I can get to know people. And I think that's the biggest thing for the upcoming convention, by the way. Sure, you want to compete. You want good pieces and people want to do that. But I think this is what matters, like you said. It's the networking, the connections, the people that you meet are more important than anything else, So I love that about conventions, and especially about what we do is we can, for Jose, I mean, this motherfucker's from Colombia, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm from Mexico, from Peru. We're all over the world, but yet we can all connect with tattooing, and it's such a passion in any culture that you go to. It's so beautiful, man.
I agree. And being in the same room when people from all over the world, for example, talking about conventions, like the convention tomorrow is going to be people from all over the world.
Exactly.
I love that. And for me, it's always energy exchange,
Yeah, it's such a big thing, because like if you're not feeling the vibe, you're not at your full potential. But you're in the same room with the people that, share the same feeling, the same emotions, the same for your craft. Man, it boosts you. It gives you this sense of confidence, a sense of energy,
Yeah.
It's such a different feeling. And I agree with you on that part, man.
And also, like, to be in a place, imagine there's somebody from, I'm going to make something up, or Colombia, whatever, Peru. that person is going to this convention and they go back home and they do the same as you do in your own city. Everybody have their own world doing the same as you do, like I do.
Their own way.
Right.
Your own little micro
Universe.
you know, but you have the same in every part in the world doing tattoos in different language and different
Styles,
locations and styles. But at the end, we are united by doing permanent drawings on your customers.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
What we do. I love it.
Sometimes we get like distracted, like about what's the popular thing now, what's the brand that everybody's using, that machine that everybody's using, and blah, blah, blah. But when you see people all over the world doing the same or even better with probably a lot less quality stuff,
Right.
They're using shitty machines probably. We just get distracted by a lot of all that stuff,
Absolutely.
And also I think like we are blessed in a way, using the best job in the world, not only to travel.
Right, of course.
Take out of the equation the travel. We don't travel for tattooing.
Right.
Okay. You are making art with your friends in a room every day, making jokes, meeting new people with your clients, learning from your clients. I learn so much from my clients.
Yeah.
Learn so much from my
We
clients.
build a lot of relationships with clients. We
My God, it's amazing. A painter,
yeah.
the most successful painter, and I got that from Boris Vallejo, one of my biggest inspiration. If you guys don't know who he is, Google it.
We'll leave the link for him right down below. Yes,
Down
sir.
below.
Yeah, we're gonna put some of his work on the screen.
Absolutely.
Boris Vallejo, he mentioned that on what was the name? It was in Venice. It was not a convention. It was the World Tattoo Conference. They invited him, and they were talking. He was fascinated about tattoos, paintings on the skin. He's a painter. He's not. He's in right now. He's in his 80s plus, and he was saying like, "Wow, if I will be your age, probably I will be a tattoo artist too, because being a painter is a very lonely profession because you are in front of your canvas, you are painting in your studio, maybe with your music." Nowadays, you can put a podcast if you want, but back in the day, it was not that.
Right.
It was
It was
you
just
and your
you and
music
painting.
and your painting. You don't have any feedback from your painting. It's not. You are you and your own thoughts and painting for days and years and decades. That's why you are a professional painter. We are professional painters on skin.
Yeah.
But we are hanging out. Imagine that painters have a tattoo shop. or a painting shop, everybody painting, hanging out, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Such a long. We are so blessed that we are making art that is very personal, but also we are very social at the same time. So
We are.
It's amazing.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's nothing like it, I think.
And I think we're very social creatures as humans. We
Yeah.
are, we're not designed to be by ourselves. If you were to put a human by itself, get lonely,
And-
depressed, and all that stuff, right? But you want to be around people.
I feel like all that is by. It has something to do with the fact that we need to do the tattoo on a certain time frame.
Exactly.
Because I was at a painting seminar with David Kazan, who's is another badass painter, right?
Good friend.
Okay, well, it's crazy because he couldn't paint more than 20 minutes. Like he paint
Really?
and walk away. He paint and walk away because that's just the way that he works, right? And he was amazed that me and a couple of other tattoo artists that were there, we were just painting fucking 5 hours. And he was like, why you guys don't take? And I was like, well, we can. I mean, painting we can, but we're so used to, right?
That we
So
don't. Right.
the fact that we need to finish, we need to take
Take advantage of the situation.
The client that's there is
Right.
taking the pain and all that. That kind of forces us to first do it in the same place all together, right? And at the same time and all work together. Because painters, they can paint in the morning. They can paint later at night. They
Yeah.
can paint 1 hour today, 2 hours tomorrow?
Yeah, you have to. You want to go for a bike ride? You go, come back. The painting is there.
Exactly.
No feeling pain, nothing. So yeah.
I want to say one thing. It's really cool.
Oh, Terrence, you're here.
He's here. I forgot he was here. What's up, T?
Terrence, are you
Man.
drinking all our beers over there?
No, man. I'm in
Here,
the flow
hold on.
right now. You guys are
Hold
like
on, I
in
got
like
him.
Jedi mode right now.
Hold on. Take a sip. You got to take a sip.
I'll take a sip, bro. I mean,
On
you ain't
camera.
gonna force me. You know what I'm saying?
Cover the logo. Not sponsored by.
Here, no, it's not no sponsors, nothing like that. This is what do they call this? Jesus juice?
Bro, he just forgot what he was gonna say.
No.
Okay, you remember?
You know what I thought was amazing though when you said the convention, right? Well, not the convention, but the seminar that you took. I thought it was really cool because it made me think about people that invest in something that they really want. And I think that a lot of people don't invest, and maybe it might not be money, it might not be it's time.
Okay.
So maybe the difference is he's going to teach you something that he already knows, but the people that go and they learn from him, they're investing. They already thought about it before he got there, and now they need something that he provides. So now you get a chance to be there, and you really don't want to spend 20 minutes. You want to spend an hour because you have something that you want.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important to know you need to be inspired on your own, not dependent on someone else.
Right.
So how do you keep yourself motivated over and over again when you're by yourself? How do you keep that fire?
Also,
That's a good question. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, he was telling me that one of the reasons why he was painting like 20 minutes at a time is because when he was learning how to paint and he was using a model, the model cannot sit
Still for so
still
long.
for so long. So the breaks
Interesting.
is one thing that he just have to do.
You have
So it's
to
crazy
do.
that just
No,
influence everything.
It's something that I like and don't like at the same time. When I had the chance to paint models, actually I took a seminar from also as well, or a workshop from David.
I think he was on tattoo conference.
Is this
One time.
He was
yeah, right?
exactly, in Venice too. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. When the model doesn't come back in the same position, bro,
Ooh.
and that for me is like, oh my god, it's very similar,
How you-
but it's not the same. I love the hand in the pose before.
Right.
So I jump into other area that I think is, I know, and then hope
You hope that she
hope they
sit
come
the same
back.
way.
In the same
It happened
way.
to me more than one time, and I'm like, I wish I took a picture.
great.
You don't take a picture during a
Right.
painting session like that, but I mean, I wish I have that exact image that I really like.
And I guess speaking of painting and speaking of drawing, what we do, we obviously tattoo on people and on skin and stuff like that. How important would you say painting, adding these other elements, to your life? How much of an influence is that? Because obviously it's easy to look at a picture, copy paste on a skin, right?
Right.
But whenever you have free time, whenever you don't want to go ahead and you're like, what do you do today? There's a canvas, there's paint, there's a color pencil, charcoal and stuff. How important would you say that is to what we do?
Well, it's very important.
Okay.
I think also like what Jose was taking a seminar is so important, more than paint.
Okay.
Taking the seminar, because people say like, oh, if you paint, you're gonna be better tattoo artist, blah blah blah. You can paint,
Right.
bad,
Uh-huh.
all your
You can.
life, all your life, and not because you paint more, you wanna tattoo better or paint better.
Okay.
If you learn, then you're gonna know better.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important for any kind of artist to actually learn from somebody who's a master on that. I took so many seminars.
Right.
And doesn't exist anymore after COVID. They canceled, but I took the illustration master class for 7 years.
Oof.
By tattooing, my painting changed completely.
You felt a drastic change in it.
From the year one.
Okay.
Every
That's
time
awesome.
I have the whole year to practice, come back to the same workshop seminar for 1 week. Illustration masterclass was 100 students, 1 week, almost 10 days in the university here in Massachusetts. It was. I did it for 7 years, man, and man, that was my art school. the people I get inspired, still friends with all of them. And I think that's so important to create a community and actually learn from each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Learn from each other,
definitely.
because you are like I think nowadays, talking about before and after and now, it's very common to artists now to they learn how to tattoo and they have private studios.
Yeah.
Right? It's very common now.
Yep.
But for me, it's nothing like being in everyday life, looking somebody tattoo your friend and do, hey, what do you think? Do you like this version or this version better? I like that one better.
Mm-hmm.
That little feedback for
huge.
you is huge.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Ask him how many times I bug him and I go ahead and get under his skin whenever I'm like, Jose, what about this? What about that? What about this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that what we do, it has to be such a community thing, because, you know, it's so saturated nowadays that I feel like the new generations, they look at it and they're like, oh, I can make quick money. I can make this. I can make that. Tattooing goes deep. The roots of it are very deep. And I feel like you have to do things the right way. But at the same time, connecting, community, like, you know, building all these rapports with different artists. It's important, absolutely.
And I think it's important to create new styles or new things, because if you are like, I've been tattooing for more than 30 years. So I've seen people who is doing the same as 20 years ago and don't evolve. And there's nothing wrong. Maybe 20 years ago, it was great.
Right.
It was, wow, this is amazing. They were young. They were doing the new thing or whatever. That's what happened with people who have private studios. That they just do that.
Right.
They just do that, and they're going to pass 10 years. And then when they realize that it's 10 years and they are not growing,
Everybody's
they're not
way ahead.
way ahead. I see that happening so much. So I think us is very fulfilling to be, you know, with other artists. You know?
Absolutely.
Being in conventions, being doing guest spots, and you go there. As I started the story earlier, that I'm a self-taught artist, the way for me to learn was to do guest spots.
Yes.
Yep.
Here
That's
in the
another
US,
good way.
I was looking where's a tattoo shop where the artist is better than me. I find the artist who is better than me. Can I do a guest spot, please? So I just want to be in that room, and check what he was doing, and that's how he do it. All right, I have something more for my bag of tricks.
You learn a lot doing guest spots.
Yes.
You learn good things, and you learn what not to do also.
100%.
You learn how the shop runs, how they do good things, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. I'm a shop, you know.
Exactly.
So the guest spot is definitely a good thing.
It's
Absolutely.
very, very
I love bringing guest artists here at the shop, because I feel like every time they come, they bring knowledge
Yep.
from wherever they're coming from.
for sure.
And it's good traveling, but sometimes you cannot, right? So
Right.
if you can bring them,
Exactly.
it's awesome.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
100%. No, I agree. Like I said, there's just so much knowledge. There's so much going into this, man. I mean, I can pick your brain for hours and you'll be here for hours and everything, man.
The next time.
Absolutely. Definitely next time. But no, man, Stefano, thank you so much for being here with us, man.
Thank you so much for the invitation, guys.
Absolutely,
It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you so much. Like I said, this is what we want. You know, we want to go ahead and introduce people to different things, different cultures, especially to one of our pillars from our community. So thank you so much for having us. Thank you for being here with us.
No,
and then absolutely, we're gonna have a blast. You will be seeing a lot of this content coming up, especially. Keep an eye out. We're going to have all the links, all the tags here for Stefano and all his profiles. And then, of course, we're going to have all the clips for this upcoming tattoo convention here at Longhorns. And, I mean, I can't say anything enough. Thank you so much for subscribing, for following us. Stefano, any last words for the guests that you would like to tell us?
No, just I want to thank you guys and thank you for watching, and that's it.
There you go. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We will tune in till next time, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.